How to meditate. Discover how people practiced mindfulness and meditation in the 1940s without the aid of phones or relaxing music. This is the only true way. By Edwin J. Dingle, founder of the science of mental physics. During the past few years, on hundreds of occasions, I have been sorrowfully impressed with the difficulty experienced by all sorts and conditions of people when they commence to meditate. It is generally believed that meditation is an easy thing to do, but it is not. Meditation may be regarded as a strictly scientific means of entering that deep spiritual state where all things are made known to us. In meditation, we open the channels through which we may feel the spirit within us. Through meditation, we come to know and later to direct that force in which we live and move and have our being. We may have a well-stored mind, may know all that there is to be known about theologies and isms, and yet when we attempt to meditate, we fail. But how do I meditate? That is the reason why people so often say, I believe what you say is true. But how do you meditate? What do you do? What must I look for? And so on. In short, people who are spiritually inclined and honestly wish to make progress along the higher lines of thought seem to be at a loss as to how to commence the practice of meditation. This booklet is prepared in response to many inquiries and is issued in the hope that many may find herein the modus operandi of successfully going into the silence and entering the very holy of holies. To those who have tried to meditate and have failed, let me offer a word of encouragement. When we seek, we find. But it is also true that while some, through a sudden flash of intuition, seem to obtain their heart's desires without any great effort, there are others who find it necessary to gain illumination only by long toil and struggle along the path. May you find light on the path. It is to this class of seeker that this little book is offered, with the assurance that they will find light on the path if they persevere. Those who have so far developed as to be able to settle all their problems by the operation of life's higher laws will agree that man's greatest gift is his ability consciously to enter the silence. In the silence, all power resides. In the hurly-burly of life, and especially our hustling Occidental life, most of us find only the manifestation of power, or its objectification. We need to tap the subconscious. The inevitable result when we know how to tap scientifically the sources of power through meditation, we discover ourselves to be already far along. The path life then holds no disharmony for us. We are free from the ravages of worry and time. We come closer and closer to the very forces that propel us in our journey from shore to shore, and enter consciously and gratefully upon the life abundant, which can only be known through experience. It is, however, self-evident that when we place ourselves in the attitude to meditate, we must be shorn of all false pride. We must come as little children, trustingly, reverently, humbly, in the spirit of true simplicity. But we must persevere. There must also be with us the will to control. We may commence haltingly. We may find our minds apparently impossible to control. But perseverance on our part will magnetize the force which later on will bring us perfect success. 80, that we shall be able to enter into meditation even on a streetcar or on a subway train. Thou hast to reach that fixity of mind in which no breeze, however strong, can waft an earthly thought within. Thus purified, the shrine must of all action, sound, and earthly lights be void, even as a butterfly, overtaken by the frost, falls lifeless at the threshold. So must all earthly thoughts fall dead before the fane. How to meditate. Follow these instructions carefully if you would have rapid success. A. Sit in a comfortable chair with the spine erect. It is better if you can to sit on the floor, tailor fashion, perhaps with a small cushion under you so that your legs are slightly lower than your buttocks. But the spine must be straight. It is likely that some discomfort may be experienced at the start, for the reason that the legs may get stiff and a pins and needles feeling set in. If so, gently move the position of the legs and watch closely to find your most comfortable posture. If you persevere, absolute comfort will come in time, and you will be able to sit in this position for a long time. Relaxing the body. B. Take 3 or 4 long breaths through the nostrils. As you exhale, flex the body so that it becomes quite limp. The tenseness of all the muscles is withdrawn. Place your hands on your knees. It is a strange electrical connection about which you know nothing yet. Sit still, breathing gently without effort. What you are doing now is to lose all sense of the body, relaxing the mind. Now do with the mind what you have done with the body. Flex it. Just let all go. Don't try to think. Don't try not to think. At this stage, all kinds of ideas will surge up in the mind. Pay no attention. Let them surge. Don't resist. Sit quietly and watch the show, so to speak. After a time, however, without stirring, take possession and say, in a low, firm voice, slowly but audibly, "Peace, be still. I am still. I am at peace. I am at peace. Peace and peace, peace." You must not think of time, for you are about to lift your consciousness into a superphysical realm where time does not exist. That breath, which is life in Mentalphysics, as taught by its founder, great importance is given to the breath, which forms the basis of all occult work in India and Oriental countries. It is not possible in this booklet to teach breath control and retention, but the sincere seeker is urged to commence his attempts in meditation by first watching the breath to see if he can trace any manifestation of any force in the body. If so, watch it more closely. Follow it. Familiarize yourself through feeling with the beautiful rhythm of breath. D. As soon as you are still, take the denial, quoted later in this booklet, and in a firm, low voice, not even audible to others, repeat a few times the words of the denial. The object of this is to lay the ghost of the old ideas, to kill them, for you are now reversing your old way of thinking in relation to life. Don't hurry. Then stop. Be quiet. Very peaceful. Let the denial sink in. If there is a tendency for the mind to wander, draw it back again by repeating the words of the denial. You must use sound, E. Now take your affirmation very resolutely and treat it in the same manner. Let the tone be decisive, positive, yet reverent. Then sit still, very peaceful and still, and let the affirmation sink in. Wait to listen. And after some practice, it may take a week, a month. Men vary. You will hear a voice speaking to you in the silence. That is the voice of the soul. Never hurry. Be patient. Note: do not be disappointed if your mind is hard to control at the start. If you make any progress in the first week, be glad and grateful. Be assured that it will come all right in time. If you have any difficulty, sit and imagine that you are looking within you, watching your own breath. Notice how even it is, how beautiful, and imagine that the life force is coming in with every breath that you take, and that it is going all over you, remaining with you like a great light within. F. Always sit in the same place. You will know later on why this is desirable. If you are fortunate enough to hear the voice referred to in E, realize that it is the voice of the spiritual man speaking to the physical man. Try to feel rather than think. This may take you out of your abstraction with a start. Never mind, try again. Assume a grateful mood and give thanks. You are to learn in a way that you have never learned before, that the infinite wisdom of which you are a part knows all there is to be known. Therefore, when you are in touch with it consciously, there is nothing that you cannot know. Your connection with it now is unconscious, instinctive. Those who have gained success in being able to induce the state of abstraction will, I repeat, agree that meditation is man's greatest blessing. When we get some control of our mind, we should be grateful and give thanks. We are making progress. If you fail, try again. Do not despair. Sit quietly and make audibly your affirmation in perfect confidence. I am health, or whatever you may wish, and feel the sound of your voice riding out on the breath, so to speak. A proper appreciation of the power of our breath will enable us to enter the silence with ease. My mind creates my universe. Most people are woefully ignorant of their true nature. We do not see things in life as they are, but only as they appear. Indeed, there is no evidence to show that any two people, you and I, for example, looking at the same objects, sense them in the same way. As we are, so they appear. The senses are the avenues by which the mind observes phenomena, and as we do not sense things as they are, the mind has to correct our observations or properly interpret them. Meditation brings reality in mental physics. We learn that it is an illusion, that the universe, our universe, exists externally. It has to be interpreted by our reason. Very few people receive this correction, and so they continue all through life to retain a false idea of the reality of things and of themselves. Meditation is the key to the realities of life. To de-hypnotize the mind from its sensuous enmeshment, the average person is quite unconscious of the fact that he can know anything except that which is received through the senses. He is just as ignorant too that his senses are deceiving him every moment that he lives. He is subject to this constant betrayal. And this must, unfortunately, continue until such time as he is able to realize what his senses are doing with him. How frequently do we hear people say, "Oh, how beautifully those flowers smell." Reason dictates, however, that flowers do not and cannot smell. And so on. Deceptions of intellect. If you will sit and think a little, you will find that there are thousands of similar, apparently unimportant, deceptions of mind, created thus by the senses. During the next day or two, watch the conversation of yourself with other people and see how many things we say which are not correct. And consequently, as words are the containers of thought, so to speak, our minds are deceived. Constant fight against unreality. Mental physics, again, is the key to enable us to unlock the realities of our own lives. You will find that the mind is enslaved, deceived by these expressions into a state of auto-hypnosis. It would be easy to fill volumes with evidence of the illusion of the senses. The great majority of mankind are in urgent need of correcting their present ideas of their own very existence and their own powers. We have supposed that we live in our senses. Thus, unless our senses are being occupied in some pleasing manner, we are unhappy. Some people even quite miserable, not knowing that we are mind, and the senses merely the avenues by which we are related to the world of objects that is other than ourselves. This does not mean that we are to decry or belittle the senses as something bad or useless. No, the senses are a part of us, but not the real part. Our blessing in mental physics is to emancipate the mind from their dominant control. Instead of the senses mastering the mind must master the senses. Now all this may seem to be simple, but you are what your mind makes you. That is self-evident, but the mind cannot be master until it recognizes its power. Just as the horse will remain the servant of man because it is not aware of its superior strength, so man will remain a servant, beaten about willy, nilly by any wind that blows, until he realizes the glory of the higher powers of the real self of him. Read this quoted paragraph most carefully. We must become dehypnotized. To dehypnotize the mind from its sensuous enmeshment and to awaken it to the consciousness of its real inheritance. Omniscience means eternal life, here and now. This is a stupendous thing to do, but the processes taught in mental physics will yield a wonderful interest, inspiration, and a more abundant life. Meditation is the secret to uncover our hidden power. Going into the silence, go into thy closet and shut thy door. Few people know what meditation means. Similarly, going into the silence is little understood. Let me repeat. Sit in the same place as near as possible at the same time of day in the same position. To undertake the work indicated in mental physics so that real benefit may be derived, it is advocated that 1 hour each day for at least a month is the least that the student should devote to his practice. After the first month, he will feel so much better for meditations and the new realization of knowledge that is gradually coming to him that he will not need to be counseled to practice, for his own mind will dictate this, and he will receive great pleasure in going into the silence. Mental physics awaits you. Mental physics is for those students who are preeminently interested in health and life, success and the art of living. If you're interested more in the subject of strict material success, the making of money, becoming a master salesman, becoming a great musician or a writer or an artist, you may change the wordings of the denials and affirmations to suit your own needs. What we do in this scientific teaching is to uncover the one principle, the one law, which can be made to apply in the realization of any ambition. It must be emphasized that to gain success and mastery in no matter what we may undertake, it is essential that the knowledge must be so gradually absorbed as to irrevocably become a part of the new consciousness we are setting out to build. Importance of diet. Remember that you are physical what you eat. Care should be taken with the diet. In a very real sense, we can only be what we eat. We know that we are actually what we think, but what we eat is the result of our thinking. In this writer's opinion tested over a period of some years, the raw food plan is the best. In any case, temperance in diet is the golden rule. There is an abundance of literature on how and what to eat, so that we will dismiss the matter here by advising the student, especially if he or she is suffering from disease in any form, to investigate the subject of food from his or her own particular standpoint. Do not meditate soon after eating. Meditation or exercises should never be undertaken until 3 hours after a meal. A more rapid progress will be made at the start if the food bulk be considerably reduced. But remember, you are to decide what are your own particular needs. It is you who must live your own life. You must do your own thinking, and you are the sum total of your own thought. All that any teacher can do is to shed light upon the path. You yourself must tread the path. Denial, number 1. Death is not a law of life. Man is not subject to decay, sickness, or old age. There is no old age, there is no decay, there is no death, there is no death. I am not subject to decay and old age. Now I am free, 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 free forevermore. Affirmation number 1. The law of creation is life. I am life, glorious, wondrous, vibrant life. I am youth, I am beauty, strength, power. I am free, free, life, life. Affirmation number 2. I am life eternal, boundless, limitless, everlasting, never ending, wonderful life. I am free, free, free. Affirmation number 3. I am whole. I am perfect. I am strong. I am powerful. I am loving. I am harmonious. I am rich. I am young. I am happy. Think of the transcending beauty of the very words, while in meditation feel the radiant truth of the fact that I am whole, whole. Nothing has to be added to wholeness. Nothing is to be sought. You do not have to go elsewhere for it, for I am whole. Be thankful. Give thanks. Think of the word powerful, full of power, and I am power. Contemplate the inner meaning of the words, and you will gather strength from day to day from this simple yet truly vibrating affirmation, which, if you will look deeply enough, you will find covers every avenue of your life. Affirmation number 4. The creative spirit did not create disease, senility, old age, and death. These ideas are superimposed by the mind of man. I refuse to accept them. They have no power over me. I am free, free, free. Affirmation number 5. I am an embodiment of the creative spirit. I am the center of attraction. I am a magnet. I embody myself in youth and beauty. I embody myself in the substance of beauty, infinite beauty of the teachings of mental physics. In closing, I would like to ask you whether this little booklet has any message for you. Look within yourself as you read and see whether you are hearing the voice speaking to you. You may be prompted to make inquiry regarding the infinite beauty of the teachings of mental physics through our headquarters at 2nd and Hobart, Los Angeles, California, USA, Edwin J. Dingle, Ding-Le-Mei, New York, October 1930. And now, if you like this book and this content, please subscribe for more.